Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to start working on getting our solar panels connected, and we got them mounted. Here's a little video of that, and now we've got to get them wired up. So we have a port on top of the roof, first of all, that we are going to connect the solar panels to, so we don't have to drill any holes or try to run any wire through the fifth wheel. Which, if you need to do that, the best way to do that is follow one of your follow one of your vent pipes. Take the flange off the top and run that wire down that vent pipe. That's really the best way to do it. It will get you down to the garage, to the underbelly of the fifth wheel or the trailer or the motorhome, and you'll be able to run your wire that way. But for us, we have a port. Now, one of the problems is I have no idea how they wired this port to make sure that they wired it correctly. We're going to do a little continuity test. So let's go up on the roof and I can walk you through that. Alright, so we're up here on the roof of the fifth wheel and we're going to take a look at this port right here. As you can see, yes, it's red and black. And I'm going to assume that red's positive and black's negative. But unfortunately, sometimes the guys can get in a hurry. They connect these up wrong and you don't want to reverse polarity them. So we want to make sure which one is which. So if you'll notice, I've hooked up some solar cable to the port, and where we run that down to the garage, and we're going to do the continuity test down at the charge controller to make sure what we got. So let's head on down there and I'll show you how we hook this up. Okay, so if you've also noticed that I put in a light in here so that I can see what's going on. So we're going to take the continuity tester and we're going to test. Alright, so our red wire up top is going to the red wire or positive down here. I don't know if you can hear the tone, but it makes it nice and easy. Now we know for sure that our red wire here, that's our positive, is actually the positive up top on the port. And now we have no doubt of what is what. And we can do that again on the negative side just to make sure that we don't have a tone. And that's always a good thing to check. No tone, positive side, tone. So red is red and black is black. So red is positive, black is negative, and that's what we're going to proceed on. So let's go ahead and get this all connected up. You know, I decided to do one more thing, and that is I want to make sure that there's continuity for the ground wire as well, just to make sure we have good connection all the way to the charge controller. So we went ahead and hooked up the ground wire. So now we're going to check continuity on the negative side. And there we have it. So we know we have good connection from that port up top all the way down here. So now we're going to get started getting it all hooked up. And if you want to also take a look here, you'll see that we've kind of built this box. Let's see if I can back up enough. Give you a good solid look around the water heater. There used to be just kind of a flimsy piece of wood with this carpet on it that went all the way over to this, and we wanted to be able to put all this back here. So we went ahead and opened this up, took that piece out. We have put the carpet here, just kind of dress it up a little bit, built this rack, this cover here out of pine, covered around the water heater. And then also, I don't know if you can tell or not, but where all of the PEX pipe is, we were concerned about maybe possibly a leak somewhere. So we put a little plexiglass right here to prevent water from spraying from the wet bay into the battery area. And then if you'll notice, that light went out, and that's because I have it on a motion. And that way we're not having to reach back in there and turn that on. And it, see, works pretty well. And you can buy those on Amazon. I will leave a link to those lights on Amazon. I also put one of those up in the front bay where the batteries used to be, just so that when we get in that area we have plenty of light in there as well. Alright, so let's go ahead and get up top and we'll get everything connected. I'm going to show you how now to connect up and crimp down all of the leads that we're going to need. And we're going to have to do this up top for the most part, but I'll take you in the garage right now and we'll show you how we actually will crimp up one of them so you can see how that's done. Alright, let's get to it. Okay, so we're in the garage and what I want to show you now is how to attach these ends with this to these wires. Now, they are not soldered. You do not need to solder them, but you are going to need to have the right crimper and a good set of strippers. I bought these as a kit, and I'll share that link with you. I got them on Amazon. I do get quite a bit on Amazon. It's a good, expensive way to get things, and I don't have to run around trying to find things. Where I live, we live in the mountains, and while we have a Home Depot about 10 miles away, if I need to go to an electronics shop or something like that, well, I'm having to go an hour or more away. So Amazon is kind of the lifesaver for me. So the first thing we need to do is make sure that we have stripped these wires down an appropriate amount. So I usually like to go a little over 1/4 of an inch, and then I always like to have the wire go inside, and then you'll notice here that the crimp part, which is this part right here, does not go around the insulation. So the crimp part actually has to go on the wire. So we're going to stick this in here. If I can stop shaking for a minute. Put that in there. And then we're going to take the crimper, and you'll notice that the jaws, the different sides of the jaws, we want to make sure that this open part is in the bottom part of the jaw. Now, if you're right-handed, the best way to do this would be to switch these around. I need a better screwdriver.
Is that a Phillips?
This is a Phillips. And you can do this either way with this crimper. That's one of the nice things about these particular crimpers. So we're just going to take this and we're going to shove it around, switch it to the other side because we're right-handed.
Are these new crimpers?
These are new crimpers.
Boy, that's a trick all in itself.
Yep. Okay, so now that we have them in the right location, we're just going to make sure that this is up. We're going to feed this in to, looks like we're going to use this one right here.
Is that the end?
This will be the end. And then we're going to make sure it's all in there. It is. And then crimp it down. And go all the way. And then check it to make sure it's there. Okay? And that's how you crimp that. Pretty simple. Pretty easy. And you do not solder it. There's no need to... If you wanted to solder it, you could. You just put a little bit of solder on the end right here as it's going into the main pin. But that's it. So now, what we're going to do here is we're going to set this up for the positive side. If you'll notice here, this is positive, this is positive. So we're going to set this up for the positive side.
What is that?
This is a parallel jumper. So we're setting these solar panels up. 2 of them are going to be in serial, and then the 4 of them will be parallel together. So this is going to have to go like this. So we're going to connect the red one up to go in there, and it'll have to be on this end. Now, one of the first things you do, and this was no big deal because I'm going to cut this wire and we're going to actually shove this on the other way, but you want to put this on here first. Make sure that it is in the right way so that as this screws down onto this, it tightens up on these little tangs and tightens up on the wire. And you'll notice the gasket, it will prevent any water from getting in there. That's one of the nice things about these. These are outdoor type fittings. So we'll go ahead and get this particular one crimped down. Okay. And there's my right-handed crimper. Oh. Okay. So if you're having a little difficulty, you could kind of push these in a little bit. There we go. All right. Check that out. Make sure it's nice and solid. And then there's some little tangs right here that are going to clip on the inside of this. So you want to push this all up, all the way up in there until you hear it clip. Okay, we did. We heard it clip, and now it's not coming back out. Screw this in place. And then you have these two tools. You're going to use them to tighten this down.
Do the tools come with it?
The tools come with the kit. I want to make sure you have it. So you're going to tighten them down. Nice and tight. Now this one's ready to go. So we're going to start off here. Make sure that this is all clipped together. And now we're ready to take this upstairs up to the top of the roof, where we will begin the process of getting everything wired up. So we'll see you up on the roof. Oh, one thing. It's going to be hot today. Make sure you put your sunscreen on. We did. Even I got a little sweat running down my forehead. Don't be afraid to go back and put your more sunscreen on. So, ready, Steph?
Ready to go.
Let's do it. Okay, so I'll get ready to climb up on the roof. But one thing I got to have up there, I'm going to be up there for a while. Not only sunscreen, but I need water. And you guys should grab one of these. These are awesome. You get these on our website, rvweekenders.com, and I love it. I take it to work with me every day. It keeps the water nice and cold all day long. So please make sure you go on our website, rvweekenders.com. Go to our merch, our RV Weekenders, RVW. Oh boy, can't talk today. Our RVW store. And pick up one of these, and also get yourself a good t-shirt. So here we go.
I like the teal color too.
Okay over there?
I can't see if I'm getting you or not.
Okay, we'll come around the other side.
It is really bright today. Let's see. I'm just letting it roll so you can edit this stuff out.
Yeah, I kind of feel like Rocky up here.
Wait. Come on, let's sing We Are the Champions. Come on.
Oh, we are the champions. No, we gotta get to going here. You don't want to hear me sing or dance, trust me.
Oh, you're just the funniest thing.
All right, let me come get that camera from you.
He acts like he can't sing.
Oh, I can't sing.
Oh, yeah.
Come on.
Best voice ever.
All right, so we're back up on top of the fifth wheel after I did my little dance for you. And let's kind of take a look at what we got. All right, so if you remember, when we set these up, we made sure that we annotated which one was positive. This is really important that you never forget to do this. So this is positive. It has been secured. This one is negative. So positive to negative means serial. So we're going to have these two in series, the other two in series, and then we will connect these up in parallel, the two. That way we don't overdo the amps, because we only have a 30 amp charge controller. So here is our negative side. We're going to be running this over here, and then we have to reach under here and give the positive side. We'll find it and then do that. We'll bring it out. So let's get started. So I'm not going to videotape the whole thing. We're just going to show you how this ended up at the end. All right, so we got the solar panels all wired up. Let me kind of go through and show you how the final product ended up. Now, one thing that I didn't tell you about the connectors that I really should have is that if you look at the pins, one's a little larger, one's a little smaller. Now, the smaller ones go in, the larger connector, the larger half of the connector, and the larger round one goes in the smaller half of the connector, so that when they clip together, one goes up inside the other. So just kind of keep that in mind as you're doing this. So let's go take a look at what we got. Okay, so you can see everywhere there's a penetration. I put dichlor down everywhere. And I put some dichlor down on the wires in a couple of spots just to make sure the wires aren't flopping around. Alright, and that's it for the solar connection. So I've already checked the charge controller. I've got a good solid green light, and I'll take you down and show that to you here in just a minute. So the solar panels are definitely connected and ready to start charging the battery. So I can disconnect the fifth wheel from the electrical power and let the solar panels do their job. We're not using any electricity, and I would rather the solar panels did the charging than the converter, because the solar panels will do a much better job and a lot cleaner job. So all right, here we go. So now we talked a lot about DC and electrical, AC. Hopefully at the end of this video you'll understand everything that there is to know about it, so enough that you'll be able to kind of take a look at things and see how they work in your own fifth wheel, and be able to troubleshoot to a certain extent. I'm going to warn you one more time about electricity and the dangers that it entails. Please make sure that you're taking proper precautions anytime you work with electrical equipment. Be safe. Remember that it only takes 0.05 milliamps to stop a heart, and I always want you to be safe no matter what you're doing. All right, so we'll go down and we'll take a look at the charge controller and see how that came out. Hey, just before I drop down off the fifth wheel and head down below, I wanted to share with you the view from up here. It's just beautiful. So let me kind of rotate the camera around a little bit. You can see we're down here in a valley in the middle of the mountains of Southern California. Best place to be. It's quiet. We've got some agricultural here in this particular valley. We're at about 4,000 feet. So wonderful view. Lots of wildlife around here. Everything from mountain lions to bear to elk and deer. I'll share with you a picture of a deer herd that got in my way going to work the other morning. So what do you think about these deer? Pretty big herd. It's a good thing it's not hunting season, huh? All right, so let me head down below and we'll show you the charge controller. Hey, so in preparation for the solar, as we worked through getting the rig ready, I want to share with you what the finished product looked like for the inverter and the batteries and everything. And if you'll notice, I'm in the garage area, or the storage area, depending on what you want to call it. And we started working on this toward the end of our season last year and worked on it over the winter time. So let me kind of go over this with you. As you can see, I'll turn the camera around. So this is for the 3931 FB front bath. This wide open space under here fit perfectly our Go Power inverter, which also the Multi Plus 2 would also fit in here without any problem. 4 homemade batteries. Yep, I made those out of cells, and I'll share the link where I got those from. And then the shutoff for the inverter right there, which you always want to have 2 shutoffs when you're running an inverter like this, a pass-through inverter. And then back on the back wall, you see the solar charge controller back there. So, and there's 2 breakers that are down a little bit lower. You can see the light turns off. That's a little bit better. And then all of the plumbing has been redone, and wiring has all been tidied up. And all the plumbing has been tidied up. We moved the filters from right here, as we showed you, over to here. And then you're probably wondering, well, how am I going to keep any leaks out from there? Right here is plexiglass to prevent water from spraying in at the batteries or any of the electronics. And this wide open space right here allows me to get in and get out whatever I need to. If I need a little bit more room, I can take this off and remove this for any extra space that I need to get at. But we are pretty much ready to go for our solar install, which is going to come up this weekend. And you can see the light back there. I've got that on motion, so anytime it senses motion, it comes on. Those are LED lights, same as the rest of the fifth well. Okay, so if you look back there at the charge controller, you see that green light that tells you that your polarity is good and that the charge controller is ready to begin charging. So now all we need to do is we'll turn the breaker on that is headed to the batteries, and we will check it out on the Victron app. Alright, so this is the app for the Victron, and I have 2 devices on here. Right now you see that the solar panels are producing 318, 310, 307 watts, and they're actually charging the batteries right now. Whoop, let's bring that back up. We want to allow the charge controller to charge the batteries, and wow, look, they're doing a fantastic job getting those batteries nice and full. So let's go check the battery. We got a smart BMB battery controller, and you can see the batteries are 100% charged. So right now the charge controller might be just operating lights and other things because I have completely turned the 120 volts off. And so the solar panels are doing everything right now. Yeah, the settings, and you can see how that solar panels are doing a fantastic job right now. Looking forward to trying a little boondocking and see how they work. We're going to be doing that here in July, where we are going up to Crowley Lake up in Northern California, actually Central California, at the bottom of right below Bishop, California, and we're going to test that out. Okay, almost hit my head. We don't want to do that. Alright guys, so that's the end of this video on electrical. I want to make sure that you guys get a chance to subscribe and like the video. Make sure you hit that bell so you know when we're coming out with another video. We really like doing this. We put out quite a few on these electrical, mainly because I see a lot of the Facebook groups, a lot of people are having difficulties with their electrical systems, and it's important that they understand what those electrical systems do. So we'll continue to put videos out. Hopefully you'll join us. So that's it for today. This is Ron from RV Weekenders. Have a great day, and hopefully we'll see you on the road.